Hello and thank you for joining us. As part of Coast Community News Community Service, we'll be providing a daily update on COVID-19 news and events here on the coast to keep you as informed as we can. Firstly, just a quick update on numbers. As of 11 a.m. today, there were 171 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in New South Wales, 37 new cases in the last 24 hours, which is the largest daily increase in the state so far. State Health Minister Brad Hazzard said it was likely we would see an exponential increase in cases in the next few weeks. There are now close to 2,000 cases under investigation, and to put that in context, there have now been over 25,000 people in New South Wales tested and cleared. As of yesterday, there were 4 deaths due to COVID-19 confirmed in New South Wales. Here on the coast, there have now been 2 confirmed cases of the virus, both of whom are being supported by health authorities at home in isolation, and both are reportedly doing well. Let's cross now to David Abrahams, who spoke earlier this afternoon with Andrew Montague, Chief Executive of Central Coast Local Health District.
Here we are at Central Coast Health District headquarters, where we've just learned that the second case of the COVID-19 coronavirus has been confirmed on the Central Coast.
There are 2 confirmed cases where people have tested positive for coronavirus. So the second case is a lady in her 40s. She had returned from travel overseas, and basically she's self-isolating at home. She's doing very well. Our public health unit as well as our clinicians at the health district are in contact on a daily basis, basically to do a wellness check to make sure that she's travelling okay and whether we need to change any of the management, but everything's good. And I think the other thing to realise, the 2 cases haven't been in contact with one another, so there's no concern there.
Some of our readers have asked about will you be publishing generalised locations of people who are infected?
So the answer to that is no. So our response very much as a district is that it's on the Central Coast. Anyone that when anyone's tests positive, our public health unit starts doing contact tracing, and so anyone that needs to be contacted will be contacted.
What is the procedure when someone is infected? You said self-isolation. What happens to them after that?
Yeah, so they'll self-isolate for 14 days, and once after that 14 days, they're pretty much clear based on what's known with the characteristics of the virus. Then the important thing to realise, though, is if someone does test positive and they're more unwell, what we do know is the vast majority of people, it will be like a common cold or a very mild flu, but there will be some people where it might be a little bit more serious. We would then think about admitting them to hospital, and we've got very good measures and precautions in place to manage that appropriately.
Okay, now here's a few other important notices. You'll recall that Prime Minister announced a few weeks back that the federal government had activated the Australian Health Sector Emergency Response Plan. Now, 3 immediate things this plan included was 1, to impose a mandatory self-isolation requirement on all international arrivals to Australia. 2, it banned all cruise ships from foreign ports from arriving at Australian ports. And finally, it cancelled all non-essential static gatherings of more than 500 people. New South Wales Health Minister Brad Hazzard has subsequently been given powers to execute these measures here in New South Wales, and there are penalties if those directives are ignored. New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian today said that the police can enforce people to stay at home amid new self-isolation guidelines. Now, static gatherings do not at this stage include train stations, shopping centres and markets, or schools. Federally, yesterday the government launched its coronavirus COVID-19 campaign. Information on that is available at the website address shown below. And as part of this, the department has also released an online infection control training module entitled How to Protect Yourself and the People You Are Caring For from Infection with COVID-19. Back in New South Wales, and the Health Department today announced that the New South Wales Government is lowering the age pharmacists can administer flu jabs for children from 16 years down to 10 years. Now, Minister Hazzard said that while the flu vaccine won't combat COVID-19, it will help reduce the severity and spread of flu, which can lower a person's immunity and make them susceptible to other illnesses. and no doubt that's aimed at also taking the pressure off local hospitals. Local Health here has also reminded residents that online grocery delivery services are available in most areas, and this notice follows a rush on supermarkets in recent weeks for toilet paper and sanitised hand wash and other supplies. There's been some panic shopping today as well, and authorities continue to advise everybody just to remain calm. RSL New South Wales has cancelled all public Anzac Day commemoration services statewide. And finally, just updating a few sporting cancellations. Firstly, Football Federation Australia today confirmed that the remainder of the A-League season and the Westfield W League 2020 Grand Final that was scheduled for this weekend will go ahead, but with all matches to be played behind closed doors and with no fans permitted to attend. And that includes the Mariners game that was scheduled for Central Coast Stadium this Friday evening. New South Wales Basketball has cancelled all representative matches until further notice, and we understand that includes all Crusaders matches, but we'll try and confirm for that for you shortly. Cycling Australia has cancelled the Australian Track Championships, which were to be held in Brisbane later this month, and a number of our local cycling stars were due to compete in that event, unfortunately. Just a few other council events. We note we've not yet had any word on Council's Flavour by the Sea, so we'll get back to you shortly on that one. The NAB Central Coast Italian Festival has been postponed to a date to be advised. And finally, A Cappella in the Valley that was scheduled for April 5 has also now been cancelled. Just a few other cancellations that have come to hand. Firstly, we understand the Senate inquiry into seismic testing that was to be held here in Terrigal has now been cancelled. Spotlight on the Entrance has been cancelled, and a high-level government meeting to discuss the channel issues on the Entrance has also now been called off. That's all we have for you today. We'll keep you updated in coming days on further developments with the COVID-19 virus. Please check out New South Wales Health's website for more information, and also our own website, www.coastcommunitynews.com.au, for further updates. Thank you.